Hang on a minute, Billy. For modern games, you'll need modern hardware with ray tracing.
Ray tracing? What's that, Mr. Murdoch?
Does anyone actually use ray tracing?
On full ray tracing, also known as path tracing.
Gaming has changed exponentially over the past few years. If you didn't hear the news, with the brand new 5000 series of NVIDIA GPUs, they announced that they would be discontinuing PhysX support. If you didn't know, PhysX was a software that they developed to enable realistic physics in games and in other programs. It would translate through the screen through clothes and clothing flapping realistically, realistic debris spreading from expansive explosions. The most recent example I can think of is batmanarkhamknight. I originally played this on the PlayStation 4, so when I was able to actually enable the setting on the PC, it was absolutely revolutionary. Being able to see Batman's cape was already cool enough, but being able to see that very cool cape and amazing cape physics being able to interact with every single splatter of rain coming from the sky was absolutely revolutionary and gave me a brand new appreciation other than playing it at a 4K 144Hz resolution. It completely transformed the gameplay experience for me. For most people who have been playing on the PC for a while, they would have seen PhysX being implemented on games such as Borderlands, Borderlands 2 and the other Borderlands titles. This implementation made the carnage much more impactful because every grenade toss would come with a huge amount of debris all over the place. Unfortunately for all of us, the gaming industry has chosen to go in a completely different direction. Instead of placing their focus on improving animation, improving interactivity through PhysX and other forms of interactive ways, they've chosen to instead put all their focus into new innovations such as ray tracing. Ray tracing uses a rendering technique to simulate lighting in 3D scenes by tracing the light rays from the viewed perspective back to the light source. This works for all elements of lighting, whether it be shadows, indirect lighting, and most commonly distinct ray-traced reflections. The goal is to create a more realistic and immersive gameplay experience. Now, adding this to the gameplay experience seems to be nothing but a good thing. Why would we complain and say no to a new innovation in the visual fidelity of games? But it comes at a big caveat. There is a huge con to implementing ray tracing into any game title. Huge computational power is required to even get this running. Brother, it's almost impossible for you to get above 60 FPS with full path tracing enabled. You'll be forced to not only buy an expensive GPU, but you'll be forced to use upscaling technology to achieve a playable frame rate. And bro, I'll be absolutely honest bro, I couldn't give two clogs about ray tracing, man. I'll give you a simple example that just propped up to me in my life when I was thinking of this formula. So I was driving home after doing a little bit of a workout at the gym. I looked at the reflections down coming off the ground. It had recently rained and I was looking at the lights reflecting from the traffic lights that were in front of me. I was like, hey, that's ray tracing in real life. Just looking at the ground in front of me gave me a little bit of a laugh and made me think of the huge amount of computational power that's being forced into creating this ray tracing experience. But then another thing came to my mind. This is the first time I've noticed in years the reflections around me and the quality and the shimmer to just having a look at them. Dude, I don't care about reflections, the quality of shadows in real life. I am definitely not going to care about them as much in a video game. The point I'm trying to make is that, dude, I don't care about this stuff, and why would I sacrifice so much computational power for something I pay little care for? Going from 144 frames per second to 45 frames per second for nice reflections is too heavy a cost for me. Rasterized reflections, the original methods that were used before to simulate light, have served me well and they will definitely continue to do so. That definitely influenced my purchasing decision and why I chose to go with AMD and the 7900 GRE in the first place. I wanted high frames for a good cost, excluding ray tracing. Now, there have been a few titles where, even though this is an AMD card where ray tracing is definitely a bit weaker, there have been some titles where I've been able to switch it on, but The 100 frames per second difference and the visual clarity lost due to being forced to using some sort of upscaling technology is simply not worth the cost. I'd rather not endure the ghosting that comes with enabling frame generation. I'd rather just play with ray tracing off and play at a native, pure 100 frames per second. And it's truly a shame because the industry seems to be going more and more into this direction. New games such as Indiana Jones, Doom, The Dark Ages and Assassin's Creed Shadows have now forced ray tracing capabilities. If you do not have a GPU that has the ability to use ray tracing, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because there is no option this time to switch it on or off. You can just make it on low or put it on high. Ray tracing is now the industry standard, which makes things very, very difficult if you're still playing on, for example, a 1080 or an even older GPU. You're going to be forced to upgrade. The reason I'm making this video in the first place is because I think we're going in the wrong direction. Focusing on visual fidelity is definitely something that's enjoyable and nice, especially if you have a narrative-driven game. It can definitely elevate that game to brand new heights. But such innovations will never revolutionize the gaming landscape. It's changed the hardware market as we now all need stronger GPUs, but the gaming experience fundamentally hasn't changed. What I can say is that our wallets are definitely getting lighter, but the performance is inherently getting worse. There is no chance in hell that a game will win a Game of the Year for having the best ray tracing experience or having the best specular shadows implemented into their game. This push ignores what makes gaming the best entertainment medium in the world: interactivity. The focus should instead be on animations, physics. How the player interacts with the world is always going to be the most important thing in a game. While Spider-Man PS4 looks great and amazing graphically, people will come back for that game for the great swinging, the traversal, the fluid motions, the animations, the cool way in which Peter interacts with the world. Battlefield Bad Company 2 had definitely great graphics for the time, but people do not remember the game for its amazing graphics. They remember it for something else. People love Bad Company 2 because of its great and awesome destructibility that set the trend for war games moving forward. Being able to realistically dismantle your opponent's cover is immensely satisfying. I'd rather Nvidia and video game developers use my GPU power to improve the physics, the destructibility, the animations, the movements, rather than the lighting. The better visual fidelity is of course great, but while we make fun of this quote here and there, we want a game that's going to make us feel like Spider-Man. The one way we all feel like Spider-Man is through the motion, through the physics.